Your life is decided before 9 a.m. Let me ask you something. How do your mornings really start? Not how you wish they started, how they actually start. Is it rushing? Checking your phone? Already tired before the day even begins? Here's the truth most people never hear. Your life doesn't fall apart all at once. It slips quietly in the morning. I once met a man in his 50s, successful on paper, nice house, decent career, but every morning, alarm, snooze, snooze again, phone, news, stress. He told me something that hit hard. I feel behind before I even stand up. Let me ask you, have you ever felt behind before the day even asked anything of you? Because if your morning controls you, your life will too. And that's why this matters. Not a 1-hour routine, not a perfect morning, just 5 minutes. 5 minutes that decide who shows up for the next 24 hours. Are you curious yet? Good, because this can change more than your day. Why the first minutes control everything. Your brain is powerful. Incredible, actually. It can imagine futures, solve problems, create meaning out of chaos. But here's the part no one tells you. It's also predictable. It runs on patterns. And the first minutes after you wake up, that's when the pattern locks in. Not later, not after coffee, not once the day gets going. Right then. Those first moments are when your mind is most open to direction. Not logic, not motivation, not pressure, direction. Think about that. Your mind isn't asking, what should I do today? It's asking, who's in control right now? And most people never answer that question. They roll over, they reach for the phone, they scroll. And just like that, the world decides its mood. Notifications buzz, news headlines hit, other people's opinions flood in, thoughts race, breathing shortens, stress takes the wheel. And once the reaction starts, it doesn't stop. Let me ask you something real. How often do you start the day already tense? Already thinking about problems that haven't happened yet? Already tired before you've even stood up? Because here's the uncomfortable truth. If you begin your day reacting, you'll spend the rest of it catching up. Think about it. If the first thing you consume is noise, what do you expect your mind to produce? Clarity, confidence, or more noise? Most people never pause to question this. They just repeat the cycle. Day after day, year after year. And then they wonder why life feels rushed. Why does focus feel hard? Why stress feels normal? Why does calm feel rare? I worked with a young woman in her 20s, college graduate. Big goals. From the outside, everything appeared to be fine. But every single morning, she woke up with tension in her chest. Not panic, not fear, just this constant sense of pressure. Like she was already late for something, even on her days off. She told me, I wake up tired of thinking. And here's the part that surprised her. Her life wasn't the problem, her mornings were. No structure, no intention, no pause, just a reaction. So we didn't change her job. We didn't change her goals. We didn't add hours to her day. We changed the first 5 minutes. That's it. No phone, no rushing, no noise, 5 minutes of direction, and something incredible happened. Not instantly, not dramatically, but consistently. Her breathing slowed, her thoughts softened, her confidence grew. Because when you decide the tone early, the rest of the day follows. Let me ask you something important. What would happen if you stopped giving your best mental energy to the outside world first? What if, just once, you chose yourself before the noise? Because here's the truth. Your mornings aren't neutral. They either strengthen you or drain you. They either train your mind to lead or teach it to react. And that choice is made before most people even realize they're awake. So ask yourself this. If you could control just one moment of your day, not the whole day, not every problem, just one moment, why wouldn't it be the first one? Why wouldn't you take the moment when your mind is most flexible, most open, most influential, and use it to decide how you show up? Because the way you start is the way you train your mind to live. And once you understand that, everything changes. Why most routines fail, and why this won't. Here's the problem. Most routines are designed for fantasy lives. 2 hours, perfect silence, unlimited energy, no interruptions, no pressure. Sounds great, but let's be honest, that's not real life. Real life has early mornings, late nights, unexpected problems. Real life has kids needing attention, jobs demanding focus, deadlines that don't care how motivated you feel. Real life doesn't pause so you can get ready. It keeps moving. And that's where most routines fall apart. They ask too much, too soon, from people already carrying a lot. So people try. They wake up early. They push themselves. They follow the plan for a few days, maybe a week. Then life hits. Sleep gets short. Energy drops. One morning is missed. And suddenly the routine feels heavy, not empowering. Heavy. So they quit, not because they're lazy, not because they lack discipline, but because the system was broken from the start. Let me ask you something real. How many times have you blamed yourself for failing a routine that never fit your life? How many times did you think there must be something wrong with me when the truth was the routine was unrealistic? That kind of thinking is dangerous because every failed attempt chips away at something important. Self-trust. And once trust is gone, motivation doesn't stand a chance. Here's what most people don't realize. The goal of a routine isn't perfection, it's reliability. A routine only works if it works on hard days, on tired days, on busy days, on days when motivation is nowhere to be found. That's why this one is different. It's short. So short that your mind can't argue with it. 5 minutes doesn't require willpower. It doesn't require perfect conditions. It doesn't need silence or special tools. It respects reality. It fits into real mornings, crowded mornings, messy mornings, unpredictable mornings. And that changes everything, because when something is easy to start, it's easy to repeat. And repetition builds momentum. Momentum builds confidence. Confidence rebuilds trust. Let me tell you something powerful. Most people don't need more discipline. Proof that they can follow through. Proof that they can keep a promise to themselves. Even a small one, especially a small one. That's why this routine works, not because it's impressive, but because it's doable. You don't walk away feeling exhausted. You walk away feeling capable. And that feeling, it carries into the rest of your day. You show up differently. You speak differently. You decide differently. You handle pressure differently. Because deep down, you know something changed. You didn't quit. Let me ask you something important. What would your life look like if you stopped breaking promises to yourself? What would shift if you trusted your ability to show up, even when it's not easy? Because trust isn't built through big, dramatic changes. It's built through small actions done consistently, day after day. And once you trust yourself again, everything else gets easier. Choices feel clearer, stress feels lighter, confidence feels natural. So ask yourself this: do you really need another complicated plan? Or do you need something simple enough to stick with and powerful enough to change how you see yourself? Because this isn't just a routine, it's a reset, a way to stop fighting your life and start working with it. And it all begins with believing something again, that you are capable, that you can follow through, that you can trust yourself. And that belief, that changes everything. Minute morning routine. Minute 1, wake the body, stand up. Don't think, don't negotiate, just stand. Because the moment you move, something shifts. Stretch your arms, roll your shoulders, open your chest, breathe deep, slow in, long out, nothing fancy, nothing extreme, just intentional movement. Why does this matter? Because motion creates emotion. Your body sends signals to your mind long before words do. Stay still and your mind stays heavy. Move with purpose and your mind follows. You don't wait for energy, you create it. Energy isn't something you find, it's something you generate. Ask yourself this: how do you usually start your mornings? Curled up? Collapsed? Rushed? Now ask a better question. What kind of energy do I want to bring into today? Calm? Focused? Confident? Decide it with your body first. Stand taller. Breathe deeper. Move like someone who's ready. Because your posture is a message. It tells your mind whether you're prepared or already defeated. Let me ask you something important. If your body could speak right now, what would it say about how you're showing up? This first minute isn't about exercise. It's about leadership. You lead your body. And when you do that, your mind falls in line. 1 minute, 1 decision. That's how the day begins. Minute 2, control the mind. Close your eyes. Just for a moment. The world doesn't need you yet. This moment is yours. Slow your breathing. In through your nose. Out through your mouth. Longer on the exhale. Feel that? That's your nervous system calming down. 1 thought. Just 1. I'm here. I'm present. Nothing else. Not the to-do list. Not yesterday. Not what might go wrong. Right here. Right now. Because when you control your breath, you control your state. Your mind follows your breathing patterns. Fast breathing creates tension. Slow breath creates clarity. Most people wake up with their minds already sprinting. Thoughts stacked on top of thoughts. Worries competing for attention. No direction. No pause. Let me ask you something powerful. What happens when you stop letting your thoughts run wild? What changes when you decide where your attention goes? In this minute, you're not forcing silence, you're choosing focus. And that choice matters, because attention is energy. Where it goes, your life follows. When you slow your breath, you tell your mind it's safe to settle. You don't need to fight thoughts. You just don't chase them. Let them pass. Return to the breath. Return to presence. This minute trains your mind to listen. To stay steady when pressure shows up later, ask yourself this: what would change today? If your mind worked for you instead of against you, 1 minute, 1 breath at a time. This is how clarity is built, quietly, intentionally, and it carries with you all day long. Minute 3, direct the emotions. Gratitude. Not the surface level kind, not something you rush through. Real gratitude, one thing, just one. Choose it. Then ask yourself why it matters. Because appreciation changes perspective, and perspective changes everything. Most emotions aren't caused by events, they're shaped by focus. Focus on what's missing and frustration grows. Focus on what's working and strength returns. This minute is where emotions shift, not by ignoring problems, but by balancing the picture. Think about it. Even on hard days, something is still supporting you. A person, an opportunity, a skill you've earned. Let me ask you something honestly. What's one thing in your life right now that you usually overlook? And how would your mood change if you truly acknowledged it? Gratitude isn't weakness, it's grounding. It reminds you that you're not starting from zero. When you feel appreciation, your body relaxes, your mind opens. You stop bracing for impact. You start moving forward. This minute isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It's about recognizing what's solid. Because when you stand on solid ground, you handle pressure better. Ask yourself this, what do I already have? What helps me keep going today? Hold that thought, let it settle. That emotional shift, it follows you into every interaction, every decision, every challenge. 1 minute, one focus. That's how emotional strength is built. Minute 4, set the focus. One priority, not 10, not a long list, not everything at once. One. Because clarity beats busyness every time. Busyness feels productive, but it scatters your energy. Clarity does the opposite. It sharpens it. Take a moment. Ask yourself what actually matters today. Not what's loud, not what's urgent, what's meaningful. Say it clearly. This is what matters today. Feel the difference? Your mind stops racing. Your direction locks in. Most people start the day reacting to whatever shows up. Messages, requests, distractions. And by the end of the day, they're exhausted with little to show for it. Let me ask you something important. What would change if you protected one priority instead of chasing everything? One focused action can move your life forward more than 10 half-finished tasks. This minute trains decision-making. It teaches your mind to lead instead of chase. And leadership starts with saying no. No to noise. No to overload. No to unnecessary pressure. Ask yourself this. If today ended and only one thing was completed, what would make the day feel meaningful? Choose that. Commit to it. Because when focus is clear, confidence follows. 1 minute, one direction. That's how momentum is built. Minute 5, identity statement. This is where confidence is built. Not from hype, not from outside approval, from choice. Say who you are today, not who you wish you were. Not who you'll become someday. Who you choose to be now. Strong, calm, focused. Say it silently or out loud. And mean it. Because identity shapes behavior. And behavior shapes destiny. Most people wait to feel confident before they act. That's backward. Action follows identity. When you decide who you are, your actions fall into place. Let me ask you something powerful. Who are you showing up as today? A person who reacts, or a person who leads, a person who doubts, or a person who decides? This minute rewires how you see yourself. Not through motivation. Through repetition. Each morning you reinforce the same message. This is who I am. And over time, your mind believes it. Your posture changes. Your voice changes. Your decisions change. Because you're no longer guessing who you are. You've declared it. Ask yourself this. If you acted in alignment with your best self today, what would you do differently? Choose that version. Step into it. 1 minute, one identity. That's how self-belief is built. And once it's built, nothing shakes it easily. What changes when you do this daily? You don't become perfect. That's the first shift. You stop chasing perfection and you become consistent. That alone changes everything because perfection is fragile. It breaks the moment life gets messy. Consistency survives real life. Missed sleep, busy mornings, unexpected stress. When you do this daily, something subtle happens. You stop reacting. You start choosing. Instead of waking up tense, you wake up aware. Instead of being pulled into the day, you step into it. Think about that. Most people don't live their days. They endure them. They bounce from one demand to the next, hoping things slow down. But they rarely do. When you start your day with intention, you create a pause. And in that pause, power. Power to decide how you respond. Power to slow your thoughts. Power to keep your footing when pressure hits. Let me ask you something important. How different would your life feel if you responded instead of reacting? Because reaction drains energy. Choice builds it. At first, the changes are quiet. No fireworks, no dramatic moment, just small wins. You feel calmer in situations that used to shake you. You think more clearly when things get busy. You catch yourself before spiraling. That's not luck, that's training. Your mind is learning a new pattern. Confidence begins to grow. Not loud confidence, not fake confidence, real confidence. The kind that doesn't need approval. The kind that doesn't disappear under pressure. And stress? It starts losing its grip. Not because stress disappears, but because it no longer controls you. You still face challenges. Deadlines still exist. People still test your patience. Life still happens. But now, you meet those moments differently. Let me ask you this. What would it feel like to stay steady even when things don't go as planned? Because that's what consistency builds. Stability. And stability creates momentum. Days stop feeling like battles. Decisions feel lighter. Your energy lasts longer. Then one day, something hits you. Not suddenly, not dramatically, but clearly. You realize you're no longer chasing control. You're not forcing motivation. You're not scrambling for focus. You're living it. Control becomes your baseline. Calm becomes familiar. Clarity becomes normal. And that realization, it's powerful because you understand something most people never do. Control isn't found in doing more. It's found in starting better. And it all began with 5 minutes. 5 minutes you once thought were too small to matter. 5 minutes that slowly rewired how you show up. Let me ask you something honestly. What would your future look like if you kept this up for a year? Not perfectly, just consistently. How would your relationships change if you brought more presence into them? How would your work change if you started each day grounded instead of rushed? How would you change if you proved to yourself every morning can you follow through? Because the biggest change isn't external, it's internal. You stop doubting yourself. You stop asking, can I handle this? Because experience has already answered that question. Yes, you can. And you did. Day after day, 5 minutes at a time. That's how real change happens. Quietly, steadily, relentlessly, not through big promises, but through small decisions made daily. And once you feel that shift, you never want to go back because you didn't just change your mornings, you changed how you live. Final challenge. Here's my challenge. 7 days. No skipping, no excuses. 5 minutes. Ask yourself afterward, did I show up differently? Because if you win the morning, you win more than the day. You win yourself. So tell me, are you ready to take control of the first 5 minutes of your life? Because that's where everything begins. Thank you for listening. And don't forget to like and subscribe.